So I'm sitting in a completely different van than the one I started this trip with. And that's mostly due to Jason Crocker and Jaylena from Leave Her Wild. Both of them really jumped in with helping me with my van. Jason did most of the actual like execution. Jaylena was right there beside him helping him. I was mostly a camera person. I don't think I put but like a few hands on this job at all. And the crazy thing was, all I did was like show Jason like a sketch of sort of what I wanted to do, and he's like, we can knock this out in one day. And I kind of didn't believe him. I was like, I had my doubts. Now, we did strip out the van, and there were delays due to rain, but this van was rebuilt in less than 24 hours. So once we all committed to the reality of this happening, Jason went off to buy materials, and me and Jaylena began taking all of my stuff out the van and ripping out everything on the inside. They offered to work around my electrical system, but I thought it was ultimately easier if I just disconnected everything. And we started with as much of a blank slate as possible, and then I would rewire it all around the new build. So one of the hardest parts of the gutting process was actually the little metal seat connectors in the front. I've always had this hump in the front part of my doorway that I always wanted to get rid of, and Jason was able to get it out.
This was the hardest part with her van, was just, oh man, taking the van apart.
Unfortunately, the camera died before I got to film that victorious moment when that plate finally came free. But once all that was done, it was time to get to some measuring and cutting.
If I chop a finger off or anything like that on camera, I just ask for 10%, that's it. Whatever you make of it viral.
Because then I'll promote it and everything.
Yeah, I would. Basically, so you probably put screws through the end here to connect them. So if you use this bit, it's called a countersink countersink bit, and it'll drill a hole so it won't break your board, and then this part will put a little indentation in it. So if you know the screw's going to go there. Now it put like a little hole there, as you can see, and then when your screw goes in, it'll go right to that hole, and now it won't crack the end of your board. So, works out.
With the bed and the base of the new kitchen countertop done, it was time to move on to the side cabinets next to the bed. With the upper storage completed, it was time to move on to the final kind of build part of the build, and that portion was the floor. Now you may be wondering why the floor was last. Well, basically so that we saved money on materials and made the job as quick as possible. The floor is only going to cover the exposed part of the floor that's used basically in the living area of the space. The good thing about this is it left the storage in the back as tall as possible. The floor done, all that was left was for me to reinstall the electrical system.
So Jason and Jaylena, I just want to thank you so much for like all the hard work you put into my van.
Yeah.
We literally pulled apart and rebuilt my van in less than 24 hours. Some of that interrupted by storm, but
most of it interrupted by storms. I was just glad the sun came out when we're done.
Yeah, exactly. Just as we were finishing up.
But we got it, and I told her, I said, we'll knock this out in a day's work. If it wasn't raining, we could have done the whole thing in a day. She didn't believe me. No faith. No faith.
So I want everybody to know, like, this whole layout was pretty much like how I wanted it, and I just didn't know if I could pull it off. So I'm so grateful for both of you guys' help. Like, I just feel so much more comfortable in the van. The van is so much more functional to, and I still don't know why you did it.
We just want to help, and I mean, she came down, we put on this meetup for YouTubers, and the whole thing was literally to help other YouTubers. We just extended it, you coming out here and doing that. So, I mean, you're awesome. Jaylena's a huge fan. Fangirling a lot every time your videos come on. So, it was just an honor to help you out. So,
All right, I ain't smelling great, but I kind of want to.
heck yeah.
We're happy to help. I'm glad that you got the van that you want.
But-
now you can paint it and
Yeah, you
stain it and
do
make
whatever
it
you
your
want to
own.
do now. So,
Like
yeah.
the basic structure is there, and now all I have to do is I have to put all my electrical back together because like my battery's hooked up to nothing. But that's my role in the game.
But I basically was telling her earlier, I was like, I wish we had more time to do this more finished. You know, this was really pretty much a one-day build
Run and
with,
gun.
limited, stuff. And so it's just, hey, it's raining, let's knock this out. So I wish I could have done more.
Yeah.
I
I am
really,
so
truly
grateful
do.
for everything he did do. I mean, we did repurpose a lot of wood.
Oh, Jaylena was all about it.
She was like, "Can we use this piece? This piece will work."
Yeah, it didn't matter what it was. She's like, let's use this. But it worked, and now you can kind of get your stuff to spread out of the elements, put it back in your van.
So I'm gonna work on putting electrical back together and getting my belongings back in the van before another goat jumps in my van.
That's what I feel sorry for. I've had every one of my animals in her van. Hey, you said you were curious about goats, right?
Sawyer didn't get in my van.
Yeah, he's
Like,
too old.
Wait a minute. I can't. It's hard to point on camera. But this guy, Puck, this little guy right here, he's been all over my stuff.
Yep. Hey,
I want you to take him.
yeah,
home with
road
you.
dog, come on.
I don't think Mickey will like it. Ever since Mickey got here, he's been like, "What is that? What are those?
What are
Keep him
those?
away."
The baby goat liked your van a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the baby goat was in my van a lot. All right, let me get to this electrical work before we lose the sun.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much again,
Of
and
course.
there's no way I could ever repay you. This has been amazing.
Friendship.
Yeah, you can tell
Keep-
me all the good spots when I come visit you in California.
Yeah, keep posting videos.
All right. Let me get to work.